Ready? Here we go. Here we go. Wow! Again, 2 out of 3, baby. Woohoo! I'm the champ. All right, ready? Let's get started. Yo!
Okay.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 5. We are here again, and we're ready to talk about tryout season. Either your season has ended and you're getting ready for tryouts, or you still have your season to go and tryouts are coming pretty quick. So
Yes.
that's what we're talking about today, right?
Yep.
Being mentally and physically ready for your tryouts as an athlete, how to prepare.
As a coach.
As a coach, how to mentally prepare. Like, are you okay for tryouts? And parents, what to expect,
Yes.
right? So let's talk about the athlete point of view. Um, Athletes, are you ready for tryouts? Are you trying to level up to another level, another age? Are you aging out of a level? Are you aging out of your team?
Yeah.
And you got to go to another team, whether another level or another age bracket. Some programs like ours, we don't have a lot of age uh, divisions.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to be moving or aging out, you might be moving up to another level. Are you prepared for that? So, what are the things you work on before tryouts to get physically ready?
Well, my my coach is watching my whole season, so I already know that my coaches know what I'm capable of doing. So I'm just making sure that I'm able to confidently perform the skills that I'm gonna do for tryouts. I'm making sure that I'm just mentally prepared to perform those skills by myself because usually, you're in a team setting, your coaches watch you perform throughout your full out, but are you ready to do it alone? And do it confidently? That's just what I prepare for. I don't really focus too much on um, getting a skill right before tryouts. I just prepare myself to perform them well. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, are
Be
you one of
confident.
yeah, are you one of those athletes that are like, "Man, I got to get my back handspring tomorrow. I want to try out and I have to have it. Let me take as many private lessons and as many things as I can do because I have to perform it at tryout." It's not always a good thing.
No.
It's a good thing that you want it.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I want every athlete in here to go in there prepared mentally like I can do whatever I put my mindset to. But is it reality?
Yeah.
If you do get a back handspring in a couple of weeks before your tryouts, it's just a back handspring.
Yeah.
Can you do a round off back handspring, back handspring? Can you do a front walkover round off back handspring? Right? Can you do your back walkover back handspring?
Yeah. And if you're throwing that back handspring because you want to move up a level, well, do you have the jumps? Do you have the choreo for it? Can you perform? Can you perform confidently? Are you confident in all of your level 1 skills to be ready to move up to level 2? And then like do you have the mentality for it, or are you mentally weak? Are you going to push yourself? And then like for us, our level 1 age difference is a big difference between our level 2 age difference. It's a senior team for level 2. And so if you're like younger, are you going to be able to stick with those 17-year-olds?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because they're older. They're in high
Yeah.
school. They got, and everybody has a different way of dealing with emotions and stuff like that during practice, and it does take a toll on practice sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean that's what we have age divisions for, but sometimes we know that that athlete is just needs to be on that older team.
Yeah.
But can they fit, mentally, be ready for it? Those type of things we want to make sure that you guys are looking at while you're thinking about tryouts, right? We have our season still left. We got 2 comps left, and we're trying to worry about those as well as tryouts. And I know everybody's thinking about it. I need my skills. I need my skills. But you're absolutely right. Having tumbling isn't just your level. So a lot of that gets misconstrued by parents, athletes, coaches. They have their tumbling. Okay, that's great. We want them to have their tumbling. But what can they do for the team as a whole? For our
Yes.
score sheet, for our program, for everything else involved, for their mental state also. You throw an athlete on the team and they're not mentally ready because they have their skills, their tumbling skills, and they can't stunt well. They can't jump well. They can't do choreograph route as that level 2 or a senior age team. And so then it hurts them during practices, during the season, because they're not up to par with everybody else. and we're pushing them to get their routine done and like, hey, we put you in this spot, we need you to do this, make sure that you're ready for that.
Yeah. Because that's gonna affect your one is gonna affect your score long term if you're not able to perform all of those skills. Um, and then also you don't want to push an athlete too far to where they're scared of doing certain skills and then they're falling out of love with the sport or they start to hate themselves because they're not ready to perform those skills. So then they're like, well, I'm not capable of doing it. I must suck and everybody else is doing it. So you don't want to push an athlete too far, but you still want to be able to push them out of their comfort zone. So you have to find that fine line in between. And then you also want to do what's best for the team, not what's best for the athlete.
Yes, for sure. We are a team sport, and it sucks sometimes to put an athlete on the team just to satisfy them or the parents. There's a lot that do that. I know that goes on in cheer,
Yeah.
and it's scary and it's intimidating as coaches and programs to have to balance all that stuff out. But we got to do what's best for the athlete, even when they think it's not,
Yes.
because that's the most important part. I know that you're ready and you want this so bad, but it's tough, and I feel like this year you just got to, stick with the level that you're on one more time, put all that effort into it, and then we're going to be ready for next season, mentally ready, right?
Yes.
Um, we talk about physically ready also. Don't just go start doing sit ups today because you got tryouts next week.
Yeah.
Running a mile, right? Doing squats and push ups and all these other things and tumbling out of nowhere. You should. Not saying don't do it. I'm just saying if you're thinking all I have to do is start working out a week before, you're totally wrong
Yes.
because it's setting you up for mental failure, right? Not just physical wise. Those little things that you do physically is mentally as well. So
Yes.
if I don't prepare my body physically, mentally I'm going to beat myself up. And we try not to let the athletes do that. We try to work with them. I'm going to work with you when you get here. We're going to figure those things out. Try to get what you want throughout the season, throughout classes, throughout summer. But if you're one of those athletes that kind of hung out all season, didn't push it, and you're like, well, now I'm going to start because I got a couple weeks before tryouts. That it doesn't always work out in your favor, right?
No. I mean, your coaches watch you the whole time. So, I mean, if you tried out with the skill and then you were put on a certain level because you were level appropriate for that level when you tried out because you had all the skills and then you contributed to multiple things on the score sheet. And then you got to your season, you got your routine, and then you're not throwing those skills or you're not performing the way you performed at tryouts, your coaches are the ones that work on your routine for you and so they know what you're capable of doing and then not physically capable but also mentally capable of doing. Did she work on herself the whole season? Did she push herself or did she just kind of give up when things got hard? So just because you made a team last year doesn't mean you'll make it this year.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's different. Yeah, we watch them all. I watch my athletes all season,
Yeah.
and I'm always preparing for the next season or how I can help them grow and how I can help them, physically, mentally be ready. But sometimes the athletes just don't want that, and they kind of stay, at a plateau all season.
Yeah.
And then it comes to tryouts, and they want to make another team, either their friends or they just don't. They want to show that they're on a different level. Those type of things I try to work on them during the season. When I see that happening, I really try to work on my athletes because I know that come tryouts, they're going to want that,
Yeah.
and I start working on it. I think I started working on it this year, maybe a couple months ago, start talking about next season
Yeah.
because you want to focus on your season you're in, but they also start joining more classes and they get more private lessons and they start getting skills and they're like, hey, coach, do you think I'm going to be on this level next year? Do you think I'm going to be on this level? And I have no idea
Yeah.
as a coach and the program, when they all walk in the door on tryout day, we take everybody and we see them and we start picking our, the teams and leveling and all that stuff according to that day. But if they're a previous athlete, then you can go off of that. But
Yeah.
let's talk about if you're fresh off the street, you never cheered before, or you're a different program and you're coming in here, come in here confident, right?
Yes.
Come in here and act like you want to be on that level, or you want to,
Yeah.
don't shy away. If you got a skill, please show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've never cheered before, the whole point of like joining a team is so that you can learn. Like that's the whole idea of you probably joining because you want to get better or learn or just do whatever, be the best athlete you can possibly be. But if you don't have all the skills that everybody else has, don't feel insecure about yourself. Be confident in what you are performing, because that's what, like, the whoever's judging you is going to look at you based off your performance. So do you look confident in what you're doing, or are you not going to be a great performer? Because as a cheerleader, you're performing in front of a big crowd. And so you want to be able to, they want, like, the judges want to see you um be engaged the entire time, and like you want to be a fun performer. So um your routine is more fun to watch. And so as you're like individually up there performing, you want to show your best. No, even if you're not as good as everybody else, just do what you can do,
Yeah.
and be confident in what you're doing, even if it's not as good as everybody else.
Yeah. And if you don't know cheer and you're coming in here, our program will give you a couple days, we'll figure it out, and then you perform what you worked on the last couple days. That's the time where you need to soak up all the knowledge, ask questions, try to get the best you can get. And we know, like,
Yeah.
athletes, we know if you're coming in here and you're fresh to the sport. We know that.
Yeah.
We're not thinking, oh, well, how come she can't tumble right now? Oh my gosh, and I'm just gonna write down, I don't know about this girl. We're not doing that when you see us writing stuff down. We're writing down your skills and evaluating you for the best possible season that you can have. That's how I look at it as a coach. I want you to have the best possible season for yourself. And then we got to talk about team too and program.
Yeah.
But also, if I'm going to put you on a level just because of one thing, or I got to look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
Is she going to mentally fry out halfway through the season because she can't handle this level I put her on? Or is it easier just to, or not easier, is it better for the athlete involved to put her on this level and work all those skills for next season because she is young
Yeah.
and she does have time and we do have the program for her to grow
Yeah.
when we talk about being young in it. Now, if you're older and you're like, man, I got one more season and I want to try cheer. I've never tried it before. I know I was a high school cheerleader, but I want to come in here, or I always wanted to be a high school cheerleader or a cheerleader, whatever. You come in here, we know that also.
Yeah.
We know you're 17, 18, you're coming here, you'll be 18 when you're out
Yeah.
at the end of that season. We know that. There's athletes that come in here and we're trying the best to place you where we think you should be placed also, because we don't want you coming in here joining for a season and leaving and hating cheer.
Yeah.
Cheer needs to have a positive outlook no matter who you talk to. Oh, I did one competitive season. I really enjoyed it. I did it my senior year. It was awesome. I learned this, this, and that. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be like, well, I just couldn't hang. It was so hard. I don't recommend it to anybody as they're talking to somebody that's younger.
Yeah.
And so tryouts is a lot of different things. It's a lot of different things. It's not just for the athlete to get on a team. It's for programs to grow,
Yes.
coaches to evolve, athletes to evolve, and solving those issues of, you know, I deserve to be here and I'm not. That's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
If you have those skills, we want all the skills. Of course, no coach is going to tell you that we don't want you to have skills or to stop working on skills because you're not on that level right now.
Yeah.
Right? We're working level 3 skills on level 2. We're working level 2 skills on level 1 to get you physically, mentally prepared for that when you do get there and you have that opportunity to try out. That's where you show it.
Yes.
And if something happens and you don't make the team that you wanted and you work so hard for it, it's not always a bad thing. It might be an age thing. It might be the team. It just might be the division, whatever it is, the level. We're not ready for that yet,
Yeah.
and so it is okay. Go back to the level that you were on and really work hard even more. Don't stop working,
Yeah.
because then when you do get there, you'll be at the top of that level ready for the next level.
Yes.
Does that make
And it would
sense?
make it so much easier for you. And if you genuinely don't know, like, why did I not level up? Always ask questions. Like, you could be like, what do I need to work on, or why didn't I make this level? And your coach will probably like tell you why, and then you can work on those certain things. And if you think like you're the best of the best on that level, I'm sure there's also things you can work on to be pretty much a textbook perfect athlete in that level. And then if you have all your skills and things like that, it doesn't really matter if you're like upset you didn't like that about the team that you're on. Um you're still going to be on that team, so just take advantage of the moment and just be the best at that level, and then also like help everybody else too, be a good leader on that team. And then that way your team stays competitive, and so you don't want to be like the person that makes the team negative. So even if you're upset about it, keep an open mind and be positive anyways.
Yeah, because a couple months later, you're gonna forget that you wanted to level up,
Yeah.
and you're gonna start getting that routine, and you're gonna start working it, and you're gonna be stuck in that moment of, okay, how do I get this team to be better, and what job I can do? That's what we should be working on,
Yeah.
right? And Coach Lane says it the best. He says, be a leader that cheers, right? And that's what
Yeah.
we need. Be a leader. If you're one of those ones that wanted to level up, it didn't happen for you, and you think that you have all the skills, what it takes, you still have to work on yourself a little bit. And these athletes next to you don't start being a leader,
Yeah.
right? There's opportunities like that. So think about those moments when maybe you didn't make that team so that you can be the leader on that team
Yeah.
on the level, right? It just didn't work out. The skills, the size, the age. I don't know. There's so many different programs and so many different aspects of how what it takes to get on the cheer team,
Yeah.
right? Let's say that you're 12U, you're 10 years old, right? You're in the 12U division, and the next jump is only 18U. Can you really go as a 11, 10, 11-year old to the 18-year-old division? That's a big jump in personalities and teamwork and routine wise and strength wise. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
So when you're at that age, maybe it's easier just to stay in that level even though you have all the skills. Go shine in that moment.
Yeah.
Shine on that level, be the superstar of your team, and
Yeah.
hopefully everybody else is doing that, and you have a whole team of superstars.
Yeah.
Because that could be a case that also,
Yeah.
right, is that, hey, that age gap or whatever it is in your program, but now I have these superstar athletes and I can do so much with them,
Yeah.
right? We had that last year.
Yeah.
We had a few, some athletes that we were such a small age team, and the next gap was 18, level 2, and it was just, we kept them all level 1, and then now look, that level 1 team is like top maxing
Stacked.
out
Yeah.
everything in level 1. That's what you want. That's how you're competitive.
Yeah.
And you see these teams that are just going out there and getting these 96s and 97s, and you're like, how are they doing that? It's because they're owning that level that they're on, maybe keeping some athletes back just a little bit to make sure they really own that level 1 while they're working on their level 2.
Yeah.
And then their level 2 is doing good. Why? Because they did do that. Those level 1 kids are working on their level 2 skills. So then the next season, like right now, tryouts time, okay, now you're ready. Now I have a stack level 2 team.
Yes.
I don't have beginner level 2 where you barely have a back handspring, and I've got to teach all these other skills to get competitive before we get our routine, before we get our music. So as a program and parents, you got to think about that also. We think about those things as a coach and a program of how can we get them to get to their level successfully and still be competitive.
Yes.
That's the that's it. It's not just we have a bunch of level 2 athletes. Now we're going to make a level 3 team. Guess what? We're making a level 4 team. Wow. Yeah. And now we're scoring 84, 80, 82 every comp. Why?
Yeah.
Because we don't have the skill. We just wanted to make a level 4 team. We didn't have the skill for it. We had a couple athletes, but
Yeah.
it's just not reasonable when you start thinking about tryouts like that. We got to put that in the picture also is being competitive, because I know some parents are like, it hurts when you see a program and those teams just not doing good. Sometimes it's just because we're going up against we went against a lot of great competition this season,
Yeah.
and we did good, and sometimes we didn't, and that's just cheer. But we knew that we can hang with all that. Now, what
Yeah.
happens if you go up against them and you just can't hang? It's like you're putting out a product. I always say, like, are they going to come back to my food if I owned a restaurant? What kind of product am I just pushing food out?
Yeah.
Like fast food style? And I own a restaurant and I'm just pushing all this food out just to get people to come to my restaurant and eat? Are they going to come back? Are they going to enjoy that food? Is it even good product because I'm rushing it? Or am I taking my time? My wait time is about 5 minutes more than anybody else, but you're getting good quality food. You want to come back. The atmosphere is great. It's the same concept when you think about cheer and tryouts,
Yeah.
because the tryouts, when they come in, we're wanting to get a good product to you. Yes, you're paying a lot of money for cheer. And we want to make sure that your child is taken care of. They're learning, they're on a great team, they're competitive, they're feeling good going home, right? And we have we don't have I see a lot of athletes that just start hating the sport.
Yeah.
They leveled up too quick. It's so much for them. Not getting yelled at, but getting not pressure. Like, hey, we put you on this team.
It's intimidating.
It is. And we need these kind of skills. Our numbers need to be here. Our tumbling numbers need to be here. We need to have this many jumps. We need to have this many stunts.
Yeah.
And now, where are you? Are you in that mist of, well, you're taking a knee in the back for 20, 28 counts? You don't have the routine because you don't have any. You were a good jumper and you do choreograph good. Good. We'll wait for you then.
Yeah.
I've seen it on comps. I've seen
Yeah.
athletes sitting, and I'm like, whoa, that kid's just kind of standing there for a long time,
Yeah.
you know. And then you see them do a couple tucks or some back handsprings. They jump good, and you're like, oh, that's why they're on the team.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. That athlete's probably sitting there like, man, I'm just standing here waiting for my moment.
Yeah. Then you're like insecure about yourself too, because then you don't feel like you're as good as everybody else because you're not in every section. And personally, I would rather be on a lower level where I can be in every section and really shine than in one section or two sections and then take a knee the entire time.
That's it.
So,
Yeah, go in there and be a superstar of your level.
yeah.
And athletes, please, if you're thinking that, man, I didn't make this team and I suck, that is not always the case. It's that you are a great athlete and I need you on this team.
Yeah.
You have to think about it that way because athletes get beat up that they didn't level up. Sometimes it's just not in the best interest of you as well.
Yeah.
Or your team or whatever the case is, it's okay. We need you on. I'm building teams.
Yeah.
Like I'm building teams with athletes and competitive wise and age groups and it's so many factors into it. That's what we're building on. So come in here confident with everything you got, leave it all out in front of us,
Mhm.
and that way we can go ahead and collectively decide what's the best interest of everybody involved, especially you as an athlete.
Yeah.
And don't be intimidated.
No.
Come in here. It's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
You come in here, you're all scared. You're just standing there like, oh, it's my turn. Go in there, and we want to see you perform. Cheering is performing. We want to see you
Yes.
come in and be as confident as you can ever be. And it's intimidating when you see me sitting here like this looking at you. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to look exactly like this. Watch. Okay, show me your right hurler. And that's probably because I'm not trying to be mean,
Yeah.
right? I'm in the moment of, wow, she's amazing. She has such good technique, such good jumps. I need to make sure I write that down
Yeah.
because I don't want to shorten her. And when we get all these papers involved, and we're like, oh, it says that, well, we didn't really write anything down. I'm going to go off of that, right?
Yeah.
So I need to make sure she is amazing. I might be doing that. She is amazing, but my face looks like this. Okay. So I know a lot of the coaches do that as well. We're really focused on you in the time that you're giving to us. We want to make sure we're respectful and giving you that attention and making sure that we're writing everything down.
Yes.
So, if you saw me like that, would you get intimidated?
Yes.
Would you think
I'm
that,
funny.
oh my God, I just suck. I'm not doing good at all today.
Yeah.
Mom, can you take me out of here? Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to perform confident no matter what. I mean, also like make sure that you're expressing your facials and like doing everything that you can to like look your best because I mean, you're going to feel weird. You're going to feel silly and especially because like I know I perform a little bit better when I'm in a group setting, but then when you're by yourself, you're like, okay, this is just weird. But I mean, no matter what, you're gonna feel uncomfortable and you're gonna feel awkward. But just perform your best anyways, because when you're watching everybody else and they're performing, and then you don't perform because you're too like insecure and like shy about it. One, that's gonna be written down, and two, like you're gonna look weirder being the only person not performing than if you are performing and everybody else is performing too. Like you're not gonna stand out too much.
Yeah. When you, yeah, when you're standing there and you're looking at everybody, right?
Yeah.
And they're all and you're like, I'm just gonna hold back today. I'm just not gonna show it today. I'm not. And then you were first or second,
Yeah.
and you didn't show it, and then everybody behind you comes in there like, oh yeah, hitting it. And you're like, oh man, can I do a redo?
Yeah.
And you're like, great, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Go in there fully doing what you got to do
Yeah.
because otherwise you're going to shorten your chances
Yeah.
and you're going to shorten what we get to see. And then guess what? You're going to do that during the season, and I'm going to be like, ah, she didn't do that at tryouts. That's
Just should've done it for
hard.
somewhere else. Yeah.
It's hard. It is
Because
very hard as a coach to make your team and think about, is this the best interest of the athlete for the whole team wise, for everything, blah, 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 blah. And then 3 months down the line, you're like, wow, where was that during tryouts?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
What do you do at that stage? So it's like, oh my God, tryouts is so stressful, but it's fun.
Mhm.
Also, everything's stressful.
Yeah.
So if you're stressed out going into tryouts, it's fine. Get over it. We got to get over it as coaches because I'm stressed out too. I'm stressed out with you guys. It's not stressed out. It's just, it's excitement. What does next season hold when they come through those doors and you have new athletes, right?
Yeah.
Mixing with the old athletes.
Yeah. Mixed with even athletes that came from different places.
Yep.
So there's like they still know things, but they don't know things your style.
Oh yeah,
So
that's another good point.
yeah.
You
I
come in
mean,
from a different program, right?
yeah. I mean, I was a kid that came from another program, but and I just had to keep an open mind with everything I was doing because I knew I knew that I knew quite a bit about cheer, but I didn't know how to do it the Sierra Vista way. So I mean, you have to keep an open mind. Just because you know how to do a half up this way, that doesn't mean that they do a half up that way. And so you have to learn different grips, or you have to tumble different, or perform different. Because even the performance styles of the routines, it's different. So just keep an open mind with that as well.
Yeah, if you're an athlete that's coming from another program and you're going to another program, no matter how you're going to that other program, go in there like it's a new program.
Yeah.
Take what you learn from the old program, yes, and have an open mind. You are correct because every program is different. They're gonna
Yes.
do something different. They're not all the same. That's the beauty of cheer. That's why we're evolving so much, is
Yeah.
because certain programs do this and then we mix it all together. Then you get to that all-star collegiate world and they're all doing different things. And it's
Yeah.
the beauty of learning. Why do it one way and only do it that way?
Yeah.
That's boring. Right. So when you going into another program, if you're moving towns or you got to go to another program, go in there the same way, uh open-minded, happy. Don't go in like, oh, they're looking at me, I'm from another program, they know I'm from that team,
Yeah.
they know I'm from that team and I'm coming. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't look at you. I look at you at when you get in here. I look at, the whole big picture. I don't think about that stuff
Yeah.
as I'm judging you or scoring you or whatever it is. I'm thinking about what are you bringing to this program, how can I best help you, and where can I best fit you to make sure that you are doing okay.
Yeah.
And so those are good points. Yes. And don't come in and hold back. Please don't hold back. We want to
Yes.
see everything, even if you think it's silly. But in those days, or if they give you a video, some programs will send you a video in your email and you got to learn this.
Yeah.
Learn it. Make sure you put the work in.
Mhm.
Don't go in and be like, man, I really didn't prepare. And now it's today and I'm not prepared, because it's going to affect you. So go in there as prepared as you can be. Start preparing today.
Yeah.
Don't hold back. Prepare. Ask questions.
Mhm.
Look things up.
Watch yourself. I mean, when you learn it, you can record yourself, watch yourself, and judge yourself, and just be honest. Don't think like, oh my God, I'm the best. Be honest. Oh, I can work on this. I can work on that, and then work on it until tryout, so you can perform the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's what we're looking for when you come into tryouts. I want every athlete right now to come in here and really push themselves and really try as hard as they can. And do not get discouraged if it doesn't work out for you.
Yep.
It's meant to push you. You have to get those moments. You got to figure out where you're at.
Yeah.
If you go in there and you tried your best and you just really, really tried and it just didn't work out this year and you didn't get to level up this year, it's perfectly fine. Go back and start working on those things that you need to work on and come back the next season.
Yeah.
But don't come into it like, oh, I'm not going to make that team, or oh, I don't want to work hard, or I'm going to make this team and if I don't, I'm leaving. Don't be like that, right? There's
Yeah.
a certain place for everybody, and that's what we're going to work on, trying to get you to teams. And I know a lot of coaches and a lot of programs are doing the same thing, is what's how we can build the teams for the athlete.
Yeah.
I don't want to have an athlete on my team every day. She can't do the workout, she can't do the skills, she can't perform as that higher level. And you don't want to make those mistakes or think you made a mistake, and athletes think they made a mistake joining the team, right? Be honest. Honesty. Honest with yourself, honest with your coaches, honest with your parents also. Hey, mom, dad, I really don't want to level up
Yeah.
this season. I think it's just not ready for that performance level or that technique or that right strength level. Just not ready. So it's okay, mom, dad, that I want to stay on this team.
Yeah.
Have those conversations also.
Yep.
And parents, be honest with them also and say, hey, listen, you know can you do these things? Talk with your kids. Don't just push them onto a new level because their friends are doing it, or you want to be, the cool parents.
Yeah.
It does do that and cheer, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what we got to get away from. Be positive and be good where you're at.
Yep.
Be thankful and what did you contribute to your team?
Yeah.
Am I contributing jumps? I'm a good jumper. But you know what? I can't dance. And so I'm just in the back like,
Yeah.
and so work on those.
Yeah.
Right? Oh man, I could do everything but tumble. Sometimes you don't need a tumble. We got
Yeah.
our tumbling numbers. But if that's your goal is to tumble, work on your tumbling.
Yeah.
If you want to be a good stunter or flyer, work on your skills. But
Contribute the most that you can to your score sheet for your team
that's
and
it.
for yourself.
Yeah. Score sheets. What can I contribute to the score sheet? Am I making my team better or am I hurting my team?
Yeah.
So, honesty with yourself before you go into tryouts and then come in here fully let it go.
Yeah.
Come in here and perform. Even if I'm like this and I'm just looking at you, I'm sorry if I do that. I'm really trying to get the best score, the best comment on there, and I got to be fast. I can't take all day to write stuff and remember who you are, right? We have a lot of kids coming in and out. So, um, yeah, let's get to tryout season. If you've already are over with, you got some time to work on it probably. We're in the middle of our season. We have, or not the middle, we're at the end of our season. We have 2 more comps to go. And in between those comps, we have tryouts.
Yeah.
So we got to work on all of it. So physically, mentally prepare yourself that you've got to be a good teammate for your teams now, and you've got to be mentally prepared to be a good teammate for whatever team you're going to make.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you guys are going to tryouts, we wish you the best of luck. Ask questions, join the classes, do the work. Don't just wake up Saturday morning of tryouts and say, I'm going to go run a mile and go do some push ups and sit ups and I'll be ready. I promise. Make sure you're preparing now, today.
Yeah.
Start today. If you haven't started at all, start today. Make sure you're ready.
Yep.
So, yeah. And yeah, I think that's good. So, make sure that you like, subscribe, go follow all of our social media, comment on anything that we have out there. We like to hear your feedback.
Yes. Negative and positive, so we can improve.
Yeah. We had a good comment on YouTube and it was talking about how we say too many times and you know what I mean and stuff like that. And we do. It's our 5th episode and we're learning.
Yeah.
We changed our backdrop already from one episode. We're getting better. So comment and share our stuff. We got to get out there. We want to be positive in the cheer world. We're trying one episode at a time, 1% better every time we do it.
Yep.
And we want to hear your thoughts. Give us ideas for podcasts, for episodes. If you want to be on our podcast, we do have a couple of special guests coming soon, so stay tuned for that. They're coaches, other podcasters, other people in the cheer world. We are getting those people interested.
Yeah.
So can't wait to share that with you. And yeah, make sure that you share our stuff so we can get out there and help out the cheer community positively. Yes,
Yes.
that's our goal. One athlete at a time, one season at a time, one day at a time, 1% better
every
day.
time.
Every day. All right. Well, we will see you
Next
next time.